Hey Diane, you there? We're getting divorced, you got that?
Is that you, Mark? What the hell are you talking about? This is kind of out of the blue, don't you think?
You heard me. I said I'm divorcing you. I can't go on living with you any longer. Stop off on your way back from work and pick up the divorce forms from City Hall, would you?
Hold on a second, Mark. Have you lost your mind? Just because you say we're getting divorced, I can't just say, okay, sure. I mean, come on, it's not like we're still in high school. And what about our daughters? Have you thought about them? They're only 5 and 6 years old, and you're just going to dump them and go about your merry way? You're a father, for God's sake. It's not as simple as just breaking it off. Don't you think you should be a little more responsible than that?
The problem are the girls, our 2 daughters.
Excuse me, what are you talking about? Is this about what I think it's about? That we're able to have girls, but I can't give birth to boys? Is that what you're saying again?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I didn't even have to bring it up, which means you have a problem with it too.
I don't have a problem with my daughters one bit, but you keep bringing it up so often that it's always on my mind, and when this divorce talk came up, that was the first thing that came to my mind. I hope you're not thinking that I did it on purpose and gave birth to 2 girls. If you are, you've totally lost it, Mark.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, how could you control it? But your family, you got 3 brothers. But then you only give birth to girls? It kinda gets frustrating. So sometimes I do think that maybe you might be using some sort of method to have girls. Like eating certain foods, or maybe there's a drug? I don't know. I start to get a little suspicious is all.
Don't you remember that I explained it all to you a bunch of times? The father's sperm determines whether a baby will be born as a boy or a girl. I showed you that scientific journal online. Don't you remember?
Yeah, but you're the one that's giving birth. It has to be your fault.
Oh boy, this is getting nowhere.
Anyways, whatever you say, we need to get divorced no matter what. There's just no turning back.
Why are you so determined to get divorced? I can't understand this urgency.
I have to get a divorce because my girlfriend just gave birth to a baby boy, that's why.
Wait, back up a bit, would you? Your girlfriend?
Yeah, that's right. We run a small family business. We need a male heir to take over the business someday. Our daughters just won't do. I met this girl and she gave me a boy. So the logical thing to do is to take her as my wife. I tried with this woman several times and it finally happened. After my 3rd try, I was finally able to bring a boy into this world. It's a miracle!
You're making this infidelity sound like it's normal. You were cheating on me, for crying out loud. Have you no shame?
I don't care what you do. You can have custody of the 2 girls. Just hurry up and give me that damn divorce. As for child support and whatever compensation I have to pay, I'll pay it. I don't want to have to deal with you kicking up a fuss about it later on. With that said, you still got complaints?
It's pointless talking with you. You seem to have your mind set on this.
Yeah, you sure got that right.
All right, have it your way. I'll give you that divorce. But you're not getting away with just paying. I will have my lawyer handle everything just in case, if you don't mind.
I said I would pay for their education and compensation to you. Isn't that enough? Let's just get it over with.
Didn't you hear me? I said just in case. If I don't let my lawyer handle it, you may just take off without paying. I mean, how can I trust someone who cheated on me, right? Do you really think I would simply take your word for it? Anyway, I want everything in writing. I want to leave a clear record of everything that transpired.
What are you trying to say, that I'm at fault here?
If you don't agree to it, forget about getting divorced. Oh, and as for the house and all our joint assets, that will be divided up equally. My lawyer will work that out. I suggest you get a lawyer too, Mark. A lot of paperwork. You don't want to get screwed later on.
Huh? You know I'm gonna hire a lawyer?
Yeah, I would recommend that you do. Now that we've decided, I'm packing my things and taking the kids to my parents' place tonight.
Oh, I get it. You knew this was coming. All you wanted all along was money. You didn't love me at all. It was all just the greenbacks. You know what, Diane? I'm actually glad I was able to see you for what you really are. A selfish, money-hungry she-devil. You know why divorces are expensive? Because they're worth it. Hey, Diane, what's up? It's been a while.
Is that you, Mark? Yeah, must be at least 7 years. What do you want?
I saw you at the General Hospital this afternoon at the maternity ward. I was just wondering what you were doing there is all.
Oh, yeah. I did see someone that looked like you sitting next door. You were seeing the optometrist, right? Getting bad eyesight in your old age or something? So, how have you been? Are you concerned about your daughters? Is that why you're contacting me after all these years?
Huh? Why would I be concerned about the girls? You got that handled, right?
Have you already forgotten? We agreed to keep this line open, so if you had any concerns about our daughters, you could contact me here. This is the first time, so I figured you wanted to know how the kids were doing.
No, nothing like that. I have no interest whatsoever in the girls. They probably don't even remember me.
Then what the hell do you want? I'm in no mood to hear your brainless nonsense.
Well, when I saw you there, your tummy looked pretty big, and you were in the maternity ward, which can only mean that you're pregnant, am I right?
I really have no obligation to tell you, but yeah, that's right. I'm pregnant, 8 months. I remarried about 3 years ago. You probably know that through our lawyers.
Yeah, he sent me a message about it. But what's with this husband of yours?
Keep my husband out of this, would you? You have no right criticizing my husband. He is the best thing that's ever happened to me. He accepted my daughters as if they were his own. He's a wonderful and considerate person, unlike some people I know.
Yeah, well, that's fine and dandy, but I'm just surprised that he would marry someone that can't give birth to a boy. And another thing, my lawyer told me that he's the oldest in the family. And like my folks, they run a business too. Is he gonna have one of your daughters take over the business one day? Good luck with that. So you're already 8 months in, huh? Knowing you, I bet you're expecting another girl. What the hell are you gonna do with 3 girls? Just another useless mouse to feed. I can't believe you, Diane. You're doomed to only have girls. I guess it's in the cards, huh? Seems a foregone conclusion that you're gonna end up alone with 3 girls. I bet you've got it all worked out with your lawyer, I suppose.
Again, I have no obligation to tell you this, but just so you're aware, my husband's older sister is set to take over the family business.
Excuse me, his older sister? Are you serious? Now, why would they have a woman take over the business? Are they nuts?
That's simply because his sister is way more competent in business. She grew up helping her folks run the place. It was the logical choice, that's all.
But she's a woman! Seems like a very risky move.
They're not like your family, Mark. They're not as narrow-minded. They are more concerned about competence, not gender. Anyway, my husband runs his own business. He's too busy with his own problems. He doesn't meddle in the family business.
Yeah, to each his own, I suppose, but the fact of the matter is, she's a woman. The future looks bleak in my opinion.
My other son just turned 2 last week.
Huh, wait, what?
Yeah, about a year after we got married, we had a beautiful baby boy. Just turned 2, like I said. Cutest kid in the entire world.
No way, you have a 2-year-old boy? How did you give birth to a boy? I thought you were a girl-only type.
Please, Mark, stop with that nonsense, would you? If you don't mind, let's cut this short. This is getting tedious. Please, no more random texts, only for emergencies. Please. Goodbye, Mark.
Diane, answer me right this minute. I'm not kidding around. I want you to hand over one of the girls. She's my daughter.
Pardon me, are you out of your mind? You don't care which, the older one or the younger? It really doesn't matter?
I'll stop by tomorrow to pick her up. Everything's ready by 9 a.m., you got that? Decide which one you plan to hand over. Like I said, either will do.
Have you totally gone insane, Mark? Why the hell would I give you one of my children?
Huh, why not?
Are you seriously asking me why? She's not some toy you can borrow, for God's sake. You were the one that said you didn't want the girls because your new woman gave birth to a boy, right? What was that all about? In the past 7 years, you never even came to visit them. And now you want one of them? You've really gone off the deep end, Mark. I'm not going to comply to such an unreasonable demand. These are my daughters you're talking about. You lay a hand on them, you better be ready for the consequences.
Are you telling me you can't help me out of a dire situation? We used to be married, Diane. The least you could do is help out your ex.
Dire situation? What the hell are you talking about, Mark?
It's about my son. He was not my son after all.
Excuse me? Not your son? I don't get it.
I caught my wife having an affair, so just in case, I had a DNA test done on my son, and it turns out that he wasn't my son after all. For 7 years, I treated him like my own flesh and blood. The father's a guy she met 8 years ago before he married. He fathered this kid. He's not my real son.
Oh, really? How nice. So what's this got to do with me and my daughters?
Well, after we got divorced 7 years ago, I got really sick. Caught some weird virus, and as a result, I wasn't able to have kids. So I talked with my folks on what to do going forward, and what we decided on was that you give up one of your daughters, and after a while, have her marry an appropriate guy. They will eventually have a boy, and he'll someday take over the business. So I need you to agree on this. If I don't have an heir, I may not be able to continue running the family business.
You are out of your mind, Mark. I can't believe what I just heard. What total rubbish.
What'd you say?
I said it's total rubbish. I almost wanted to smack this phone against the wall.
You have no right to talk to me that way, Diane.
I told you when I remarried, but let me refresh your memory because you've clearly forgotten. I told you that my husband has officially adopted my daughters. They are no longer your kids. You gave up that right a long time ago.
What? He adopted them? That means...
That's right. Even if you're biologically related, legally, you're not their father. There is nothing you can do to force them to live with you, Mark. They are not your children anymore. You never wanted them anyway. And it's a little too late for all this.
Hold on a second, I'm not finished! Then terminate the whole adoption BS and give me back one of my daughters! You got kids and another on the way? You won't miss it if I take one, what's the big deal?
Are you smoking something?
Hey, tell you what, I'll take both of them off your hands, and then you can concentrate on bringing up your 2 new kids. What do you say? Come to think of it, if I have both of them, one can be used for a plan B if need be.
I think I'm going to have you officially institutionalized. You have totally lost it, Mark.
Pretty good idea, if I say so myself.
You know what, Mark? If there is anybody in this world that should never have kids, that's you. What do you think your children are? Baseball cards to be traded? Holy crap. You need to see a shrink, mister.
What are you babbling about?
I'm saying I will never, and I mean never, hand my daughters over to you. I would die before I ever do that.
Okie dokie. All the preparations are set to get back together with you, Diane.
Oh, please, not again. What is it this time, Mark? You're not getting the kids.
I know you don't want to hand over the kids. I'll come to you. Or shall I say, you come to me. We get married again, and then we're all good to go, right?
Wrong.
Oh, you're worried about the wife of my former so-called son. I already kicked them out, so no worries. Move in anytime you like. From today forward, you will become my wife again. You have a bright future ahead of us, Diane.
You can't be serious. Can you hold on a second? I'm gonna call the mental hospital.
Stop joking around, I'm serious. Oh, and when you come here, only bring the girls. You can leave the other kid with your ex-husband. Let me be perfectly clear, Diane. I have no intention of adopting that new kid of yours. If you cannot accept these terms, I'm sorry, Diane, but I will not be able to reconcile with you. Sorry, but you won't be my wife again. But whichever is the case, I'm still gonna go pick up one of my daughters, or maybe even both. You understand me?
Hey, a thought just crossed my mind. Do you even know where I live?
Well, how'd you think I'm a total moron? At your parents' place, of course. Think about it for a second, Diane. You're at the local maternity ward at the local hospital. Your parents' place is 30 minutes away. Where else would you be? Use your common sense.
I was back home just to give birth near my folks. We don't live there. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, so what?
Let me ask you this, Mark. When was it that you saw me at the maternity ward? I told you I was 8 months pregnant then, so how many months have passed since then?
I guess that was a little over 3 months ago.
That means I don't live with my folks and live in a completely different place. I already gave birth to a beautiful child, and I'm back at my husband's place.
Wait, stop right there. You don't live with your folks?
That's right. So don't go barging over to my parents' place and demand that they hand over the girls because neither I nor my kids are there. And for your information, I have no intention of remarrying you.
All right, so you moved. So what? Hurry up and give me the new address. I'll drive over to pick you guys up. Come on, stop giving me the runaround, Diane.
Excuse me? I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall.
I just finished getting my folks on board with this. They finally agreed to me remarrying you. So come on, stop trying to duck the issue. I know you secretly want to. So come, address please.
Mark, I'm gonna say this one last time. I have zero intention of getting back together with you.
Right, so just give me the damn address, would ya? This delaying tactic is really getting on my nerves, Diane.
Delaying tactic? Boy, you are delusional. I'm not going to remarry you, Mark.
Diane, read the line carefully before you reply, would ya? I'm saying I'll take you and your daughters back, can't you understand? I'm doing you a huge favor. I'm going out on a limb for you guys. I get so upset. I thought you'd be jumping with joy.
Why would I be jumping for joy, for God's sake?
Huh?
My 2 daughters and my 2 sons I had with my current husband are all my children, and I love them dearly. I will never give them up for anything in the world. You understand me, you creep?
What? The kid you just had was a boy. You now have 2 boys? Are you serious?
Stop changing the subject. Like I said a million times, I have no intention of remarrying you, Mark. The thought alone makes me nauseous.
Nauseous? Are you kidding me?
And one more thing. I don't plan on divorcing my husband anytime soon. I love him. Why would I divorce the man I love? All I'm interested in is my family. I want them to be happy. That's all that matters to me. I don't want a creep like you ruining this family, so please, just get lost.
Come on, Diane, relax. I need you and the girls. Please, help me out here. If I don't do something about it now, my cousin will end up taking over the business. I just can't have that.
Oh yeah? Really? You know what? That sounds like a much better option.
Pardon me?
Your cousin, huh? That could only mean your cousin that lives back east, right? He would make a pretty good boss. Your grandfather would probably be happy with him running things.
Are you suggesting that he would be better than me?
Yeah, I guess I am. Anyway, you don't need my daughters. Your cousin would be more than adequate to take over. What's all the fuss? You make it sound like it's the end of the world.
Well, that means I won't be able to keep my current status as...
I really think the right person should take over, whoever is more competent. I think it would be better for business, and your cousin seems to fit the bill perfectly.
You make it sound like I can't do my job.
Can you really do the job, though? Didn't seem like it even back then.
What did you just say?
Okay, I guess that's it then. All problems solved.
No, the problem is not solved.
I really don't want to have to deal with your nonsense again, so please contact my lawyer for any further issues. As soon as I get a reply from my lawyer, I'm going to be blocking this line. Have to do everything legally, you know.
No, come on, Diane. Don't you dare cut me off.
This will be the last and final message. Goodbye, Mark. A few days later, I was finally able to block my line. Now my ex won't be able to contact me any longer. I suppose that pissed him off royally, and he immediately called my parents, screaming and shouting about God knows what. He threatened to talk to my daughters and reveal that my new husband is not their father. But I had already sat my daughters down even before we were married and told them that their new father was not their biological father. And they were fine with that. As a matter of fact, they were overjoyed when he announced that he would adopt them. Truth be told, my daughters love their new father. My mom explained that there are no secrets in our family. That's why we're a happy and content family. It seems everything Mark tries fizzles out. His frustration level is probably out of this world. I immediately contacted my lawyer and made sure there was no more correspondence from him. He no longer has any connection to this family, and I want to keep it that way. I heard that because of his mismanagement of the family business, he was eventually removed from his position and replaced by his more sensible cousin. He wasn't able to stay long at his parents' business working as one of the staff. His pride and conceit just wouldn't allow it, as you can probably imagine. Last I heard, he took some part-time job out of town and lives in some low-rent apartment trying to make ends meet.
Hi, sister. Thanks for getting divorced with Giorgio for me. I'm glad you realized that I was just the better woman for him and stepped aside.
Rosella, you've got some nerve contacting me like this.
What? But I just came to tell you that we turned in the marriage papers to the city hall. We're husband and wife now.
And what makes you think I wanted to know that?
I mean, this is a happiness that couldn't have been achieved without your help, so I thought I would share it with you. Oops, sorry. I forgot that you lost your own happiness because of it. Oh, I'm so insensitive. Forgive me. I was just so happy myself that I forgot to think about what you felt. As an apology, I promise to find long-lasting happiness with Giorgio, so forgive me, all right?
Do whatever you want. I don't care. I don't need a cheating man who's so easily seduced by someone like you anyways. I know that you went after Giorgio because he works at a large trading company and has a large salary as well, but I pity you and all other women like you who can only find love by stealing other people's boyfriends.
Huh? What even is that? Aren't you being a bit too mean? It's not my fault that the two of us were meant for each other.
The fact that you got so angry at what I said means that you are at least a little self-conscious about it, aren't you?
Shut up! You're just jealous of me because guys don't find you attractive, but they find me attractive.
I don't want to be told something like that by someone who's only interested in hand-me-downs from other women. Seriously, have you ever even thought about it like that?
Oh, what did you just say to me? It's not my fault if guys find me more attractive than other women. And it's not like I steal their boyfriends. It's more that they come to me voluntarily.
Right. Well, I guess you're right in at least one thing. Every boyfriend you stole until now was a cheating piece of scum. To be honest, I actually think you're doing a favor to all those girls whose boyfriends you stole by taking their trash boyfriend away from them. Anyways, I need to unpack my stuff now since I moved. I don't have the time to talk with an idiot like you, so bye.
Huh? What's your deal even? Why are you acting all arrogant towards me like that? You're just the woman Giorgio threw away. I swear I'll become so happy with him that you'll start crying when you see us next. Hi, sister. You received the invitation to me and Giorgio's wedding, right? Hurry up and reply to it, will you? Oh, I guess I don't even need to tell you this, but make sure you reply saying that you'll come, okay? You see, I'm going to make you give us a wedding gift of a huge amount of money.
I got the wedding invitation through our parents' house, but why do I need to come to your wedding? Besides, all of our relatives and even your friends from our hometown know already that you stole my fiancé from me. You're still going to have a wedding ceremony despite that? I'm impressed. Just where exactly did you throw away your sense of shame? Or did you seriously just think that they wouldn't think anything of how you just stole my fiancé like that?
None of that matters as long as the two of us love each other. They'll have no choice but to accept our wedding when they see how happy the two of us are with each other.
Is that so?
Oh, that reminds me. I told you this earlier, but you're the loser of this fight, so I'm going to make you give me a wedding gift of a huge amount of money. I'm going to make you give me 30,000 euros, to be exact.
Huh? What fight?
The fight over Giorgio, of course. Once you see how madly in love the two of us are with each other, you'll just give up and give us the 30,000 euros. Who knows? You might be able to forget about all of this and move on.
I'm not coming to your wedding. Seriously, what made you think that I'd want to come, Rosella? You were always like this, never caring about how other people felt and always just assuming that the world revolved around you.
What? But are you sure you don't want to come? If you don't, you're never going to move on from this, and you're going to regret not coming.
I have no regrets over a man like Giorgio. On the other hand, I actually pity you, Rosella. To think that you're about to marry an idiot like him.
What? Just because you're mad that I stole him from you doesn't mean you can insult him like that. You're such a mean person, Sophia.
If that's what you think, then isn't it better that you just don't invite me to your wedding? After all, I am just a mean person that's not going to celebrate it anyways.
What are you talking about? There's no point in having a wedding if you're not going to be there, idiot. We're going to be hosting this wedding ceremony specifically to crown the satisfaction I received by stealing Giorgio from you. There's no point if you're not there to see it, right?
Huh? So this wedding ceremony is going to crown your idiocracy then? All right, then I think I'll plan a little something of my own too.
Oh, so that means you're going to come to the wedding, right? Please show me your best pitiful loser face at the wedding, okay? We'll give you a seat at the front row at the wedding reception. Look forward to it, all right? Hey, Sophia! The day is finally here, isn't it? Today is me and Giorgio's wedding! Finally, I've been waiting for this day so long. I hope you brought the 30,000 euro wedding gift as promised. Oh, and just like I told you, you're going to be sitting in the front row at our wedding reception. I thought that if I didn't do that, then you would probably just try and hide in the back, but I'm not going to let my own sister do that at my wedding. All right, I'm going to be changing into my wedding dress for Giorgio now, so see you later. Try not to throw a tantrum when you see the two of us exchange vows, all right? Sophia, what do you mean you aren't at the wedding venue? Canceling without a notice is considered impolite, you know. And it's not just you, even. Why is 90% of the people I invited not here? But they said that they would come. Even Mom and Dad aren't here. Our aunt and uncle and our cousins as well, and none of them came. Hold on. Is this your doing, Sophia? Did you tell all of them to reply to my wedding invitation saying that they'd come but not actually come to the wedding or something? You were supposed to give me a wedding gift of 30,000 euros, right? And to think I was planning on using the money I received from everyone's wedding gifts to pay for the wedding. I need your 30,000 euros especially. Jesus. It's fine if you don't come to the wedding anymore. Just deposit the 30,000 euros to my bank account. Sister, sorry, but I actually need you to give me 50,000 euros now. I'm adding 20,000 euros as an alimony for ruining our wedding, which was supposed to be the start of our happiness.
Speaking of alimonies...
Oh, Sophia! Finally, you replied. So, like I already said, I need you to deposit 50,000 euros to my bank account.
I'm not going to be giving you any money, Rosella. On the other hand, though, when are you going to pay the alimony that you owe me?
What? What in the world are you talking about?
Did you forget that I asked both you and Giorgio for an alimony of 30,000 euros? You see, Giorgio told me to wait until you two had your wedding, but that's today, isn't it? Can I take that to mean that you're going to pay the alimony as soon as possible?
What? But I don't know anything about that.
Oh, so you didn't hear anything from Giorgio?
No, he didn't tell me anything about an alimony. Besides, why do we even have to pay you an alimony in the first place? I mean, Giorgio is your ex-fiancé, right? And since now the two of us are married, he's also your brother-in-law. You're seriously going to be so evil and heartless as to make a family member pay you an alimony? You're a sick person, Sophia.
You've got some nerve calling me sick after you just stole my fiancé and are now asking me to give you 50,000 euros as a wedding gift. It doesn't matter whether it's my sister or not. I can legally ask an alimony from you two for Giorgio cheating on me to be with you instead.
Huh? But I already told you that it's not my fault that the two of us were meant for each other. What is so wrong about wanting to be with your soulmate?
Your soulmate, huh? Well, I guess you've lasted longer with Giorgio than any other boyfriend of yours until now. It's still only been a few months, though, so we'll see. Hold on, don't tell me. But did you think that you would somehow be able to get away without having to pay an alimony if it's your sister's fiancé you stole? Did you think that you were so lucky he was my fiancé or something?
I mean, you're my sister, and you're Giorgio's ex-fiancé as well. I thought that alimonies didn't work when the person you were asking one for was your family.
Just where did you get that information? Seriously, you know you could have just looked it up on the internet or something, right? It doesn't matter who it is. If they cheated on me, of course I'm going to make them pay me an alimony. This is your apology for betraying me, and the thing that will crown my revenge towards you.
What do you mean, crown your revenge? But me and Giorgio were supposed to find happiness. You're going to be so mean as to ruin that for us?
Yes. Sorry, but I'm no saint that's going to just forgive you two for what you did, Rosella. Besides, who doesn't want 30,000 euros? And seriously, you're the one who's going to call me mean? Didn't you just try hosting a wedding ceremony as a way to crown your superiority over me, but ended up failing miserably? I got off topic, though. Just tell me, when are you going to pay me the alimony?
Don't ask me. I didn't hear anything about this.
Fine, then ask Giorgio when he's going to pay the alimony.
You go and ask him yourself.
Yeah, but it's going to be such a hassle for me. You're with him right now, aren't you? Just go to where he is right now and explain the situation to him.
But Giorgio said that there was somewhere he needed to go first, and I haven't seen him since arriving at the wedding venue. I'll ask him when I get home. Could you just forget about the alimony we owe you? You see, about the 30,000 euros I was supposed to pay you for your alimony, I used it to pay for the wedding expenses.
What?
I told you about how almost none of the people I invited to the wedding actually came, right? And how because of that, I didn't get as much money as wedding gifts that I had expected. I was counting on that money to pay for the wedding, but it didn't come, so I started looking for some money when I found an envelope with 30,000 euros in cash in Giorgio's bag. I thought to myself, oh, so he already had the money to pay for the wedding prepared then. And so I gave that money to the staff at the wedding venue, and...
So you gave his money to the hosters of the wedding venue without even asking Giorgio first what it was, huh? That was supposed to be the money he would use to pay for the alimony I was asking from him, I suppose.
Yeah. He got mad at me because he said he was intending on handing over that money to our parents' house on the way home from our wedding. But the wedding expenses were 30,000 euros as well, and I didn't know about the alimony, so it was only natural to think it was the money for the wedding, right? I mean, anyone would have done the same thing in my position.
Actually, I think that most people wouldn't just take 30,000 euros from their partner's bag and just hand it over to someone else without their permission first. Because judging by what you just told me, you just looked around in Giorgio's bag and took his stuff without asking him, right?
But he's my husband. His money is my money as well now, right?
Well, not exactly. Based on what I heard from another person, it seems that Giorgio sold some of the more expensive plastic models in his collection to get that money. But even that still wasn't enough, so he borrowed money from some of his friends as well to get that 30,000 euros.
What? But I thought that he was rich. He works at a large trading company, doesn't he?
Well, apparently, I guess not. He was always careless with his money, now that I think about it. By the way, apparently he believed you when you told him that you would take care of the wedding expenses on your own. But the truth was that you were just relying on the 30,000 euros I was going to give you, right?
But I didn't hear anything about this prior. How should I have known?
So did you talk to Giorgio about what you were going to do about the 30,000 euros you owe me? You guys are married, so it's probably not going to be a case of theft, but I heard that Giorgio got all giddy about his marriage with you and made a huge mistake during work, getting fired for it last month, right? Isn't that why he didn't have the money to pay off the alimony immediately? It seems like you're in a pretty difficult situation right now. Giorgio is currently unemployed and looking for a new job, while you don't even have the slightest intention to look for a job yourself. Yet you have to pay me 30,000 euros by, well, today.
You don't need to remind me. I already know that I'm in a difficult situation. I think we might even get divorced soon. What is his problem, even? I mean, he's the one who works at a large trading company, not me. Shouldn't he have just paid for both the wedding and the alimony like it was nothing?
I'm not interested in your marital affairs, Rosella. Complain to him about that, not me. The fact that you still owe me 30,000 euros hasn't changed.
What? You're still going to make us pay 30,000 euros when all of this other shit is happening to me?
Of course. It's none of my business what's currently happening to you.
But I don't have any money.
Like I said, that's none of my business. You'll just have to get it somehow.
You're being so mean, Sophia. I thought you were my sister.
We were only ever sisters by blood, Rosella. I remember ever since you entered elementary school, you would always tease me for being ugly, and that continued all the way to, well, now. Besides, it's your fault for hosting a wedding ceremony even though you don't have any money.
What? So what if we had a wedding ceremony? You're not going to let us even do that? Who do you think we are? Some sort of couple in poverty?
But didn't you just say yourself that you didn't have any money? Neither of you currently have a job as well, so if that isn't poverty, I don't know what is. The truth was that you didn't have the money to pay for the wedding, yet you still made plans for it, right?
But not having a wedding isn't benefiting of us when we're a couple who was about to find long-lasting happiness. Besides, I was counting on the money I would receive from the wedding gifts. It's not my fault. It's everyone else's fault for not coming to my wedding and giving me money.
But have you even thought about why almost nobody came to your wedding?
How should I know that? Tell me, why is it that no one came then?
Isn't it because you loved stealing other women's boyfriends? You stole boyfriends from several of your friends, right? Not only that, but this time you stole your own sister's fiancé. It's the same with Giorgio. We had a lot of mutual acquaintances, and so most of those cut ties with him when they found out about what he did. Not only that, but apparently he told his friends that got mad at him for cheating on me that you're just jealous because I'm popular with young women while you're not, which obviously didn't help the situation. Seriously, why did I ever get engaged with an idiot like him? What made you think anyone wanted to celebrate your wedding?
But everyone said that they would come in the reply to the invitation.
Oh, so did they all cancel at the last moment or something? That is a bit strange, I guess, but I guess they were all just trying to bully you or something. I mean, you do have a lot of enemies, right? I guess that's none of my business, though. Just make sure to pay me that alimony, all right? It's already past the due date, so I'm going to hire a lawyer to handle this from now on. Oh, and I'm not considering lowering the amount even by a cent. I kindly ask for your cooperation. Bye then.
But, Sophia!
I was a bit curious as to whether the people Rosella invited and replied saying that they would come to the wedding actually planned a mass last-minute cancellation, but apparently that was actually what happened. The first set of wedding invitations came back mostly with replies that they wouldn't come. It seems that Giorgio gave up at this, but Rosella was a bit more stubborn and invited basically everyone she knew, including former classmates from elementary school. That's how some people who had a grudge against my sister in our hometown found out about her wedding. And so apparently they planned that they would all reply saying that they'd come, but cancel at the last minute. Anyways, this and that happened, and in the end, Giorgio and Rosella could no longer pay for the alimony I was asking of them. This time, they sold Rosella's brand clothes and bags and stuff, and even sold her car. Even that wasn't enough, so they had to take on a loan to somehow gather the 30,000 euros they needed. The day after they finally paid off the alimony they owed me, the two got divorced. That didn't change the fact that they were still in debt, so now the two of them live their separate lives of poverty, working all day, every day to pay off their loans.